So find yourself a comfortable seat. Sitting at the very edge of your block if you're using a block. And also taking the time to put your props under your knees if that's more comfortable. And then let's just find that relatively comfortable spot and close your eyes. And we just begin that process of bringing our body into comfortable alignment. Thinking about lengthening the crown of your head a little bit higher. And as you're really lengthening through the spine, also backing up against that invisible wall. Back of your head, shoulder blades, rib cage, and pelvis. And then just kind of scanning through your body, looking for any tension that you can release by just thinking about it, just noticing it. Beginning to turn all of your attention towards yourself, physical, mental, emotional. How are you doing this morning? Begin to slow down your breath. Taking a longer, deeper breath in. And a more controlled breath out. Starting to watch as the rib cage expand like an umbrella on the breath in. And a very gentle hugging toward midline on the breath out. And as your rib cage expands, your waist, your belly, your pelvic floor all soften and release. As you exhale, drawing the ribs, the belly, the waist, and the pelvic floor back into that gentle contraction. We just use our breath not only to quiet our mind, just to kind of lull us into a more relaxed state physically. So we're better able to pay attention. We'll add a little bit of movement to that breath. Small seated cat and cow. So as you inhale, begin by tipping your tail up, letting your belly spill forward, your ribs move forward, your collarbone lift, your chin lift. As you exhale, scooping the tailbone under, drawing the belly and the pelvic floor in and up, dropping the ribs and dropping the chin. And just moving on your breath for the whole length of your inhalation, you're moving through the spine. And the whole length of your exhalation, moving from tailbone to the base of your skull. You can begin to exaggerate that movement, get a little bit of a contraction on the muscles between the shoulder blades on the inhalation. And then enjoy leaning back and pulling your shoulder blades apart on the exhalation. Let's do a few more. So you can do this as actively as you like. If you just like to continue to focus mostly on your breath with very little movement, that's okay too. Let's do Really good squeeze between the shoulder blades the next time you're at the end of your inhalation. And then for the last exhalation, when you're leaning back, we're just going to hang out there as we breathe. And as your back is in flexion, rib cage are really spread open, take a big breath in here. And think about spreading open your ribs. And the same thing, you're staying here for the breath out. We'll do one more big breath in across the back of your rib cage. And then as you breathe out, just come back to neutral. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Drop your chin to your chest and rock your chin from side to side. We're going to slowly roll our right ear all the way over to dangle on top of our right shoulder. And then you can do anything you want here to make this a deeper stretch. You can push the left palm down onto the ground. You can take your right hand to your collarbone, or you can simply just move your chin around, exploring where you need to stretch the most. And then we're going to slowly roll our chin across our chest so we can move to the other side. Same. And then bring your chin back to the center of your chest and then draw your head back up, rolling your shoulder blades in big circles on your back. It looks like Rudy is joining us for the class this morning. We'll see how long that lasts. And then bring your hands to your shoulders. Let's go ahead and roll the elbows in big circles. Other direction. And then let's take this opportunity to switch the cross of our feet, trying to make sure that you're bringing one ankle in front of the other. And we'll do a lateral stretch here, reaching the right arm up and over. And then switching. So you're going to be doing this on your breath. Inhale is reaching. The exhale is switching. You can move faster if you like, or you can move slower. Just opening up the side waist here. I particularly love this stretch in the ribs. Next time you're over to the right, you can take a moment and stay there. Think about twisting the chest upward a little bit, so you're kind of looking towards your elbow or your tricep. And then turning the chest down, and see if you can pull on your arm a little bit more, maybe getting into the back here. That big lat muscle right under your shoulder blade. And then come back to center, and we'll do the other side. Same thing here. Start by turning the chest up. And then turning the chest down and really reaching. Come back to center. If you have something behind you, a block or a rolled up mat, just move it. We'll take a little twist here. Sitting up nice and tall. Gonna bring both hands up and together. Make sure the spine is long as you rotate over to the right, tapping your fingertips forward and back. Think about that twist through the bottom of the ribs. Inhale back to center. So it takes a little bit of strength to keep the spine long when we have no support here. So you're really working on that. Continue to move as we breathe, we move. Inhaling into center and exhaling. Come back to center one more time. And then this time we're gonna hold the knee as we twist to the right, hand on the knee, hand on the floor, and then lengthen the spine and twist a little deeper. So now that we have something to push against, you'll be able to rotate deeper. As always, rotating around the bottom rim of the rib cage. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, switching sides, same thing. You're bringing your hand to your knee. As you lengthen your spine, you're rotating. Coming back to center, let's bring our hands up again. Clasp our fingers and then just flip our palms up. And we'll think about this not only as a big stretch in the shoulder, but a big stretch in the wrist. So if you can get the palms to face up, stretching through the wrist. You might feel that in your forearm quite quickly as the forearm muscles are contracting. And then let's take an inhale here and exhale. We're going to do that cat and cow again, pulling the back of your ribs toward the wall behind you. So add that core breath as you inhale, expanding, releasing the belly. And as you exhale, scooping the tail under, scooping and lifting through the belly and pelvic floor. One more time, inhale. And exhale, hugging in and up. Let's bring the arms behind us. Turn the fingertips away. Shake out our legs. Give ourselves a good stretch across the shoulders and the chest. Squeezing your shoulder blades together and opening up across your front collarbones. And lifting through the chin. You can start to roll out your ankles. And then bend your knees, reach all the way forward. Give yourself a good stretch here by pulling yourself forward. So it's really up to you what you want to do here. If you want your knees to be very, very straight, you're going to get more flexion in the back. If you want your knees bent more, you'll get more of a hinge at the hip. So whatever feels good for you, just play around a little bit with it. It's a good time to release your neck before we start the work. And walk your hands up your legs to bring yourself back to sitting. We're going to come onto all fours. We'll see how that goes with a kitten on the mat. So find your tabletop position, wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, toes tucked under, please. And we'll do a bigger version of that cat and cow so we can work on our core breath. So you're going to bring your right leg up, straightening the right knee until your leg is level to your hip, toes tucked down for this. And then we're going to bring the opposite arm up, spin the thumb up. Let's just take a moment to see if we can get the limbs parallel to the rest of the torso. Bicep beside your ear. We're going to take a lengthening breath here, and then as we exhale, we'll do that crunch. We're going to bring the knee in, bring the arm in, bring the nose in, and squeeze and lift through the belly and pelvic floor. Let's do that again. Inhale, lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. Exhale, curling in, hugging the belly in and up. Two more like that. Inhale, lengthening, and exhale, hugging in. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, hugging in, lifting, lifting, lifting. Release your knee to the floor, hand to the floor. Untuck your toes and sit back in child's pose. Walk your hands forward. And luckily my floor is slippery. I can slide my cat away from me like whatever that sport is where they're throwing things on the ice, curling. And then just rock your hips from side to side. Let's come back up into tabletop position. Same, please check your alignment and tuck your toes. Bring your head in line as well. And then start to lift through the left leg and the right arm. Just slow it down. You know, we're working on core here, so allowing the core to help stabilize the spine. Let's take a big lengthening inhale here, and then exhale to curl in and under. Inhale, lengthening, and exhale. So both ranges of motion are work. As you're lengthening the arm and leg, your back is working. And as you're pulling the knee in, your abdominal muscles and pelvic floor are working. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, curl in, lifting and hugging in. That was 4. Release your knee, untuck your toes, and come into child's pose again. Walk your hands really actively forward and spread your fingers so all 10 fingertips are so gently gripping your mat. From here, we're going to wave forward into our small plank. So take a big prep breath in. As you exhale, scoop your tail under, pull your belly in, drop your ribs. You're rolling through that cat position into a small plank as you inhale. We're going to just hang out here in this small plank position. Think about lengthening across your collarbone. Get your head in line with your spine. So you're looking forward of your mat a little bit. And we're going to do 3 little elbow bends. So wrapping your elbows against your ribs, bend your elbows, and straighten. So bending the elbows 1 inch or 2, straighten. One more time, bend your elbows, straighten. This time bending your elbows all the way down to your on the floor. If your toes are not already tucked, untuck them now. Gonna lift the hands and the chest off the floor. Tuck your chin down so you're looking directly at the floor below you. And we'll do little lifts here, just pulling yourself up higher, releasing, lift, releasing. You can be thinking about squeezing your shoulder blades together as you're lifting. Really do want to keep the elbows nice and close to your rib cage. One more time, lifting. And then we'll bring our hands back under our shoulders for that push-up position. Wrap your elbows, tuck your toes, push yourself onto your knees. So you want to think about lifting the pubic bone first, onto the knees, and then back with your toes tucked under in child's pose. Make sure you're walking your hands forward, spreading your fingers. We're coming up into our first downward dog, so lifting your knees, walking your feet a little bit closer, and then just starting to pedal, pedal out your heels. Pushing one heel down at a time. You can take this time to shake out your head. Let's push the right heel all the way down as close to the floor as we can, dropping the body weight into that right leg. Taking a few breaths here, opening up across the back of the leg, working on that range of motion in the front of the ankle. Tailbone is lifting up and away from your heel. Don't you jump on me. Switch, pushing the left heel down. You might notice that you have an imbalance in the range of motion in your ankles, so pay attention to that kind of thing. So anytime you feel like you need more of a stretch on one side, you can always take the opportunity. You don't have to follow me exactly. If you want to start on your left. Let's pick both heels up, bend our knees, and push ourselves back into crouching dog. So the tailbone is reaching up, and you end up with this beautiful line between your tailbone and your wrists. You have the natural curve in your back, and yet your rib cage is tucked in just a little bit. So you're doing some work here for sure in the shoulders. Oh, remember, this is always an option for down dog, crouching down dog. From this crouching position, let's have a look at the top of our mat and make our way walking to the top of our mat. Hanging forward, grab onto your elbows. We're going to just rock from side to side. As always, take the opportunity when you're hanging upside down to relax your neck muscles. Shake your head. And we're going to go a little deeper into that twist, so release your elbows. You're going to walk both your hands all the way to the outside of your right foot. As you're walking to the right, let the left knee bend deeply. You might be able to get a little deeper that way in that rotation. You want to have your knees as soft as you need to for your back. And then let's walk back to center and go the other way. As far as you can over to the outside of the left foot. Back to center. Slide the hands up the shins. Inhale, halfway lift, drawing your head in line. Exhale, fold. Let's do 3 more. Big, beautiful inhale to draw the spine into neutral. Exhale to release tension in the back and neck. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull your shoulder blades together. Exhale, we'll do 1 more. Inhale, opening across your collarbones. And exhale. Bend your knees a lot, open your arms. Inhale, come all the way up, pushing through your legs. Reach up, look up. As you exhale, let's do that standing crunch, pulling the ribs down, hugging the waist in, and lifting the pelvic floor. Let's do 1 more like that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hug in. And so we were kind of narrowing everything in that canister back to the midline. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, ribs down, waist in, belly in, pelvic floor lifting. Nice. We're going to move into sun salutation A prep. So step to the top of your mat if you don't have a kitten there. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend your knees to dive forward. Slide your hands up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot back. Big step. If you're on your fingertips, great. Otherwise, grab your blocks, put them under your hands. Betty, now I know how you feel with all those children around you on the mat. Inhale, bend your knee, lift your chest. Exhale, straighten your knees, push your back heel down. And just keep going. Inhale into this lunge position. And exhale. So we're working to get as much range of motion as we can through the knee, the front knee and the front ankle as we bend the knee. And then again, as much range of motion through the front knee, so we're stretching the hamstring. Let's do one more. Inhale here. Exhale, fold. Bend your knee. Step forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Back your head up. Exhale, fold. Step back with the left leg, same. Right away, we're starting to move. So those of us that have really long legs or we have tight hips or tight knees, we always have those blocks close to us so that we can use them to bring the floor a little closer. One hand on each block. Keep moving, please. Bending deeper and deeper through the front knee as your joints warm up a little bit. Inhale to lunge and exhale to pyramid. One more time. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Bend through the front knee. Look to the top of your mat. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull your shoulder blades together. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach up, look up. And exhale, draw the ribs down, hug the waist in, and lift the pelvic floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward. Halfway lift. Get really open across your chest. And fold. Right foot steps back. We're going to take a twist this time. So let's, for this one, drop onto our back knee. So you want to scoot your foot as far back as you can before you do that. You want to keep your hand on the floor with your fingertips and sweep your opposite arm to the sky. Nice. Think about rotating the rib cage. We're going to do a big circle around the arm, the shoulder here. So top hand is going to come back to point to your back foot. And then we're going to turn the palm toward our body as we sweep it across our thigh, across our knee, across our cheek. And then as it passes the cheek, turn your palm away from you. And we'll do that 2 more times. Big circle. If you're feeling discomfort in any area there, maybe just soften around that area. Don't go so deep. Big 180-degree circle. One more time. Opening up the shoulder. Nice. The next time you sweep forward and up, we're going to stay there. Bring our hand to our rib cage and deepen this twist a little bit. Pull the ribs up. We're almost done. Twisting, super good for the back. Nice, everyone. Release. Step forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. You're going to be stepping back with the left now, all the way back, scooching that foot back and dropping down onto the back knee. Twisting up, hands straight to the ceiling. Your free hand or your left hand either on a block, on your fingertips, or on the palm. Let's start to circle around the shoulder, bringing that hand all the way back towards your back foot, and then turning the palm as it crosses your body, crosses your cheek, and then turning the palm away from you as it reaches around. So we're doing 3 big circles. And if your shoulder is feeling really healthy, exaggerate the circle, especially as you're coming up and across. Get across, big circle. You'll feel that in your shoulder and your chest. One more time as the hand comes up. This time we're holding it. We're going to bring the hand to the rib cage And we're going to increase that twist by pulling the ribs back. Basically pulling your top shoulder back. Nice. And then release back to the floor. Step forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Let's take the time here to bring the hands down the back of the legs and pull yourself a little deeper into the fold, and then shake your head. So thinking about your hamstrings a bit more now, maybe lifting your tailbone up. You can keep your knees as soft as you need to, but we're still kind of lifting and tipping the tail up to get a little deeper into the upper part of our hamstring. And of course, you can be shaking your head out. Releasing your legs, bend your knees. Inhale, bring yourself all the way up, reach up, look up, and exhale, do that standing crunch, hugging your ribs back into neutral. Sun salutation, A. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, back your head up, shoulders up. Exhale, fold. Stepping back in our first full plank today. Let's take our time breathing in and out to get into this really strong alignment. Wrists under shoulders, tailbone pulling down towards your back heels, as if you had some front heels. Back heels. Pull your belly and waist in. Take a breath from your knees or your toes. Elbows in, lower all the way down onto your belly. Untuck your toes. One more time, we're going to lift the hands off the floor. Tuck the chin down. We're going to work a little deeper into the back now. So with your ribs and head lifted, bring your hands over your head till your thumbs touch. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, pull your elbows against your ribs and see if you can lift a little higher. So lat pull downs, inhale, thumbs touch overhead. Exhale, triceps and elbows tuck against the ribs. One more time, inhale. As you're pulling those elbows down, see if you can get a little higher. Hello, back. Bring your hands back into push-up position under your shoulders, tuck your toes. From your knees or your toes, push yourself back up. Downward dog. Walk your feet back in and adjust your dog. Shake out your head if you need to. And if you don't need to pedal out anymore, let's begin to practice staying still in our down dog. I mean, it's never exactly still, but not a lot of fidgeting. Start to think about lengthening your tailbone away from your heels. 2 big breaths. Let's pick the heels up. Bend your knees and then shift your tail back so you can look forward from this crouching dog. Step, walk, or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, standing crunch. Hug you really tightly in. Inhale, we're going to move on breath now, so you can take your options. Exhale, dive forward. You can do half plank or full plank. You can do half chaturanga, full chaturanga. Stepping back into plank. Inhaling in plank, choosing whether you're doing this from your knees or your toes. Lowering down through chaturanga to your belly. Cobra with your hands down or your hands up is your choice. See all back in downward facing dog. Adjusting your down dog, we're staying for a few breaths. So every time you come into down dog, come back into that place where you're feeling all the feels. What's going on in the back of your leg, front of your ankles, shoulders, neck, rib cage. What's happening with your rib cage? Take another breath. Lift your heels, look forward, make your way to the top of your mat, walking or jumping. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Let's come all the way up, bending your knees to come up, coming through a squat. Exhale, hugging the waist and lifting the pelvic floor. Let's do that one more time. You guys are taking your choice. You can work hard or you can work a little bit easier, but following your breath. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to release. Inhale into small or full plank, exhaling all the way down. Cobra is your choice. If you like to take your hands off, there's good reason to do that. See you back in down dog. So if you want to always be doing the cobra with the hands off, you're going to be strengthening your back and giving your wrists a break. So don't feel like you have to do any other version of cobra. Take one more big breath. Look to the top of your mat and make your way, walk, step, or jump. Inhale, pull your head back in line with your shoulders. Yeah, exhale, fold. Let's come all the way up, pushing through your legs, and then hugging the waist in nice and tight. Okay, let's just take a moment here to roll out the wrists. We're going to go through slow version of Sun Salutation B this morning, working on some power and some balance. So find yourself back at the top of your mat. I'm going to face you for the chair. Please make sure your feet are pelvis width apart. As you're sweeping your arms forward, you're sitting back in that invisible chair. We're going to hold this shape as we're breathing, thinking about the length across our collarbone. How is your back? If you're like me, you probably will need to tuck your ribs in so you're not hyper extending the low back. That's nice. And then we're going to do a few crunches here. So take a breath in as you exhale. Squat. Stand up and squeeze your glutes. Sit back in chair. Stand up and squeeze your glutes and lift your pelvic floor. Chair. Stand up and squeeze. One more time, chair. And stand up and squeeze. Sun Salutation B variation. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, draw your heart open. Exhale, fold. Step back in plank. We're going to breathe in and out. Take our time stepping back into plank, deciding whether you're on your toes or your knees. Take another inhale. You've got the whole length of your breath to lower down. Some of you might be hovering. Inhale, cobra, and some of you might be doing up dog. Exhale, down dog. We're going to be stepping the right foot forward, so we'll take a few practices. There's some people that can't step forward. You'll drop on your knees and step forward that way. So I'll bring the right leg up to the ceiling. Take a big breath in. Doing that crunch again. Bring the knee to the nose. Bring the nose to the knees and hug your belly in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hug in, pulling up through the belly and pelvic floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hug in. This is the one we're going to be stepping. Inhale, reach up, look forward, and this time stepping your right foot beside your right thumb. Good. Low lunge for this first one, so drop back on that back knee. Inhale, bring the hands up. If bringing the hands up is too much strain on your back, you can keep your hands on your thigh. Either way, we're not going into a back bend here. So drop your ribs down a little bit and just think about lengthening from the tail. Now, if you're feeling that on your back knee, as always, we're shifting forward into the heel, the front heel. We're going to take a twist here. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to twist towards your front leg. That's the right. So you'll be twisting over. Inhale, center. We're going to do the same thing again. Twisting. So as you're twisting, you're bringing your arms to shoulder height. That's a big rotation. Inhale, center. We're doing 3 of them. That means we got one more. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back in plank pose. Take the breath. Adjust so that you're in your really good strong plank on your toes or on your knees. Take another inhale. Exhale, lower down. Some of us are practicing the hover. Some of us are practicing up dog, and some of us are lowering to cobra. Downward facing dog. We're going to do the same thing on the left. So bring the left leg up, inhaling, exhaling, bring the knee to the nose, and bring your nose to your knee so you're curling your spine. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hug in, pelvis, pelvic floor and belly. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hug in. Next time we're stepping, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Scooch the foot away from you before you drop on the knee. Climbing up onto your thigh if you need to, staying there, or sweeping the arms up. Shifting your body weight off of your kneecap, so you're kind of dragging over the skin of the knee. So you're on the front of your, or on the bottom of your thigh, not on your kneecap. Let's take that twist here. So I can feel myself, I'm in a back bend, so I'm backing myself up, tucking my ribs down. Inhale, exhale, take the twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, take the twist. You're really working around the rib cage. Inhale's nothing to do with the arms. Arms are just coming along. Exhale for the ride. Beautiful. Inhale, hands down on the exhale. Step back into plank, your choice, full or half. Lower down, halfway, up dog, or all the way, cobra. You can push yourself back into child's pose for a break, or push yourself up and back into downward facing dog. Check your feet, check your hands, check your breath. Downward facing dog is our check-in point. Couple more breaths. Lift the heels, bend your knees, shift your tail back over your heels, look forward, walk, step, or jump. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, stand up. Excellent. Okay, we're going to use our block for that. If your loops are far away from you, grab your loops as well, please. I'm going to be using loops and blocks to add a little resistance. So let's continue with chair with the block between our thighs just above our knee joint. I'll do it facing you. We're going to be focusing on that squeeze and that lift to better activate the pelvic floor. Inhale, chair. Exhale, squeeze and lift like you're trying to pull the block up. Inhale, we're doing 6 of them, my friends. Exhale, squeeze and lift. You're still contracting your glutes. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze and lift. If you started after me, you've got 6 to do. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze and lift. All right, we're gonna sit back in chair here. Adjust the block so that it's above your knees. Mine's sort of slid here. We're gonna start to rotate. Take your hands to your heart. Lengthen your spine. You're kind of leaning forward so your head is over your feet. And you're gonna take your right elbow, tap it to the outside of your left leg. As you tap, lengthen the crown of your head so your spine is long, and then rotate your ribs so your chest faces the side. Maybe even getting your collarbone vertical to the floor. And you're doing that by pushing into the leg to back your shoulder and rib cage up. One more breath. Come back to center. Inhale, come all the way up. We still got that block, so might as well squeeze and lift as we exhale right here. Inhale, sit back in chair. Take that lengthening breath, tap the other way. Inhale, exhale, rotate. We're breathing here. It's always a little bit challenging to breathe in a rotation. So you need to kind of focus on it as you're pushing your top shoulder back over top of your bottom shoulder. One more breath. Come back to center. Inhale, come all the way to stand. You'll feel your quads release right away. Tuck your tail down, squeeze. And then hug your hands to your heart. Release the block. We're going to be doing some things on the floor as we go through. So make sure you have your medium or light loop for clams beside your mat so that when we end up on our back, you can grab a hold of them. All right, top of your mat. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. And fold, step back in plank. If you're tired or your wrists are bothering you, just step back in down dog and hang out till we meet you back there. Otherwise, lower down. Your version of a back bend here. And downward dog. We're all meeting in downward dog. We're gonna be stepping the right foot forward. So bring the right leg up. If you need to drop on your knee, do that now, please. Let's all step the right foot forward. Yeah. Coming into high lunge. So nice amount of distance between your front heel and your back toe. Bend the knee so you may be getting close to 90 here. Gonna take that twist so you're twisting towards your right. Hands are open. So we're using a lot of our oblique strength to pull pull ourselves into that rotation. Gorgeous. Bring your hands to your heart, and we're going to continue in that rotation, leaning forward, tacking the elbow to the outside of the knee, and using that tack to spin your top shoulder up and back. You can be on your back knee, that's fine. Working deeper into this rotation. Gorgeous. Unwind. So choices. You can either step back in down dog and wait for us if you're getting tired. Otherwise, you're stepping back in plank. You're moving through your vinyasa, lowering halfway or all the way. Small back bend or big back bend. And we're all meeting back in downward dog for the other side. We'll be doing the left side now. So bring your left leg up. Look forward and step forward. High lunge, so tuck your belly in as you start to lift up, support your back. See if you can get a deep bend in the front knee. Take a breath in. Try and back your head up so we're not leaning forward here. That rotation is going to feel odd otherwise. So stack your head and then take that rotation towards the inner left thigh. Bend your knee. Gorgeous. Bring your hands together. Tack your elbow to the outside of your knee. Use that as a way to spin deeper into this rotation. Breathe. If you need your back knee down, that's no problem. You're still working into this big lunge. One more breath. Beautiful. Unwind. Same choice. You can move through your vinyasa one more time. That's plank, chaturanga, or you can stay and wait in down dog or child's pose. You can take your choice. Some days we have lots of energy, some days we don't. Child's pose or down dog is where you'll meet. If you're in down dog, drop down onto your knees and take a moment in child's pose just to let go of any tension in your wrists. Catch your breath so it's nice and smooth and easy. And then we're walking our hands towards our knees so we can sit up. You can swing our legs around. And we're going to do a series of clams and bridges. So grab your block and your loops. And because we were just doing that squeeze, that adduction movement, we will start with the clams. So I know many of you can be doing this with at least a medium loop, and some of you are moving towards your heavy loop. If you've got an injury in your hip or knee, you might be using your light loop. All right, so let's just start. Might as well do both while we're here. So scoot yourself forward so you don't overshoot your mat. Feet are away from you. Belly is going to hug right in, and we're just going to lean back a little bit here. So for this, we're doing this yoga style. That means the spine is long, the collarbone is open. The abdominals are snugly wrapping like saran wrap around your waist. Some of us are going to just stay here. Some of us are going to pick up both feet. So the ones that are picking up both feet have control of their transverse abdominal, their girdle. They're cinching their waist in tight so the belly doesn't pooch. We have 3 breaths. If you're keeping your knees down, feet down, you can always sit forward and just give your back a little rest. I know this is hard on the hip flexors. Hard work, which is good work. And then we're all putting our feet down, and then we're going to do a Pilates style roll down. So scooch forward if you need to and start to roll all the way down, pulling yourself down, lowering yourself down onto your back. Once you're on your back, you're going to bring your knees in, feet in so they're underneath of your knees and close to your bum. Bring your hands down. We're going into a bridge here, lifting up your hips, walking your shoulder blades together. Please make sure your chin is cleared off of your chest and collarbone, and you've got lots of space under your neck. We're going to do clams here. Now the key is, especially if you're not new to this, is to keep yourself up. So let's all try that. Just pull the knees open. See if as you're pulling the knees open, you don't let the bum drop too much. Maybe an inch, okay? And then as we let the knees come back to neutral, we're gonna squeeze and lift through the pelvic floor. So here we go. We're gonna inhale, pull the legs open, and we're gonna exhale. So it seems kind of counterintuitive with the breath. Inhale, pulling the knees open. Exhale, bringing yourself to neutral, squeeze and lift. Keep going. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Gonna do about 5 more now. I think that was 5. That's my bad yoga counting. Squeeze and lift. Got 4 more. We're really focusing here on the pelvic floor. Everything else is gonna take care of itself. The glutes are gonna get work. Yes, they are. Low back and hamstrings. But we're really focusing on lifting and squeezing through the abdominals and pelvic floor. Squeeze and lift. I think we got 2 more. Open. Squeeze and lift. Open. Squeeze and lift. And then we're going to draw the tail down toward the back of our knees and then slowly lower. Get a good stretch there in the low back if you can. Once you're down, just take a breath, let the back kind of come back to neutral, let the muscles release a little bit. And then we'll bring the knees into the chest and give our hard working back a good stretch. You can roll around in circles or a little side to side. Okay, we're going to do the block again. Now let's see if we can do it with the loop still there. I think we can. There's no reason why we can't. Just put the block in between the loop, in between your thighs. So we did pull opens, which is abduction. Now we're going to do adduction again with squeezing the block. So bring your hands alongside, lift your hips, walk your shoulder blades together so your neck clears the floor, your chin is pointing directly up, your eyes are looking directly up. Take a breath in. This time on the exhale, we're doing the squeeze and the lift. We're doing 5 of these. Inhale, try not to let your hips drop. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale. Exhale, hug it in. One more time. Hug it in. Roll down. Pick up your feet. Take the block. So this time we're going to roll onto our side and do clams are a little more challenging. So rolling onto your side, keep your head down on your arm. Check your position. Your knees are about 45 degrees below your hips. Ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders are stacked. You can bring the free hand in front of you just to keep balance. Keep your ankles together and let's start to pull. Remember, as you're pulling the knee open, you're resisting that urge to lean back. Your body's going to try and use your stronger muscles in your legs. So we're not going to let it. We're going to just really work on this external rotation for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to bring the loop down around our ankles. So just roll onto your back and bring the loop around your ankles. And then we're going to straighten out the legs. So have a look down. You want your shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles relatively in line. You may have to pike forward slightly so you're not going to fall over. We're going to bring the top leg up and turn the top toe down. So it's really important we're turning that top toe down so we're getting more into the glute. And so we're just going to start to lift here. Lift. Now if you chose a medium or heavy, you're probably regretting it right away. But do your best. If it's heavy, you'll have less range of motion. Now this is a much weaker muscle group. You're going to feel that right away. Toe down, please. If you're letting your toes spin up, you're actually mostly using your hip flexors and quads. We do a lot of work already, so let's use these abductors in the hip for 5. Ooh, feeling that. 4. Toes down. 3, 2, 1. And release. Swing around, so you can either just turn away from me or you can swing around like I've done so you're still facing the camera. While you're swinging, let's go back to clams. So the clams are kind of pre-fatiguing here, so that's why I want to do these first. They're pre-fatiguing us for that next movement. Let's come into that clam shape. Just gonna wait for everyone. All right, here we go. Pulling the knee open, not leaning back. Open. Open. We're doing 10 here. So we got 5 more. You might as well be using your core muscles instead of letting them hang there, right? So just snug in your abdominals so they're working to stop your back from moving too much. 3, 2, 1. Bring your knees in, move the loop to your ankles. Straightening out your legs, getting your body pretty much in line. So the toe that's turning, the top toe is turning under, it's kind of in front of your ankle to turn the toe. So I'd love to see everyone actually start with their toe on the floor. So you really have curled that toe under. And then let's lift from the heel. Here we go, lift. Oh, that's much harder. Lifting from the heel is harder than lifting from the side of the foot. Lift. Try and get a little bit more range of motion if you have the strength. It depends greatly on the strength of your band. 5, 4, heel up please. 3, 2, 1. Release, come onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest and give your back a little release here. And then release the loop. We're gonna swing ourselves up to sitting. Just do a little release in the back here so your knees can be very bent if that feels good for you. We're gonna just reach forward to grab a hold of the ankles or the feet and draw as much of our chest down onto our legs as we can. Let the head go and take a big breath into the back of your rib cage. Bring yourself back up. Come onto all fours. From all fours, we're going to just do a few cat and cows once again to release through the back. So bring yourself into that nice strong alignment. As you inhale, you're tipping your tail, lifting your ribs, lifting your collarbone. As you exhale, you're scooping your tail, scooping up through the pelvic floor and the belly, and dropping your head. Do a couple more like that. So you can get lots of range of motion in the spine now. We're really warm. One more time. Everything expanding on the inhale and gently contracting on the exhale. Coming back to neutral and back up into down dog. Just pedal it out, shake out your neck. Look to the top of our mat and make our way to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hello back. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, come all the way up, reach up, look up. And as you exhale, hands to heart. So we're gonna move into tree, so we're gonna be using that same muscle group that we were using for clams, external rotation, so hug belly and nice and strong. Shift your body weight onto your right foot. Pick up your left heel, spin your left knee open. So there's that same clam movement again. Now we're gonna use our hip flexor to pick our foot off the floor and hold. So you've got a couple choices. You can keep the knee there, the foot there, or you can bring your foot and just let it hover off of your inner calf. So in this manner, you really are working your hip flexor a bit more. Love to work the hip flexor for power in picking the leg up. Nice. You can stay here. If you've hovered the foot, I'm going to give you one more option. You can bring your hands out to cactus, and we can do 3 taps, bringing the knee up to the elbow and the elbow down slightly toward the knee. Mostly we're focusing on bringing the knee up to the elbow. One more time, knee up to the elbow. Back into tree, hands to hips. Turn your knee forward. We're going to do those powerful quad extensions. Bring your knee parallel to your hip if you can. Tuck your belly in. 3 kicks only here, so extend fully through the knee as you kick. 1, 2, 3. Release to the floor. Let's just take a moment in mountain, finding that strong position, all 10 toes gripping. That lengthening again through the crown of the head, working the back muscles. Open across your collarbone. Ribs neutral, in line with your pelvis. And there's always this very gentle hugging in, just the support. Hugging in of the waist and the belly. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. Open your eyes, hands to heart. Let's move to the other side, shifting body, spinning the other knee open. I like to do it a couple of times. Coming into tree with the foot on the inside of the calf. Finding your balance here. You can stay here, or you can start to work a little differently by picking the foot up. It's still on the inside of the calf. The knee is still open. We're just holding the weight of the leg with our hip flexor. And you can choose to stay in either basic tree or the hovering tree. And you can move into this kind of ragdoll tap. Always reminds me of a little puppet, bringing the knee up to the elbow. Knee up to the elbow. And then we're going to move into those quad extensions. So bring the knee forward, lift strongly through your spine, flex your ankle hard as you kick. So you're showing the sole of your foot to the camera, shift, kicking out. You want to feel that contraction in your quad quite hard. Back into mountain for a couple of breaths. So even as your heart rate is coming down, your mind is settling down, your face muscles are relaxing, there's still activity in the core and the legs to keep you strong and tall. So we're trying always to build the good pattern, Our body's continually trying to adapt to whatever we're doing. So we want it to adapt to this beautiful postural blueprint. Now open your eyes. We're going to head back down from the vinyasa. So let's step back to the top of our mat if you are away from it. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Stepping back with your right foot, we're going to hang out in lunge. Excuse me. We're going to heel toward our foot to the right edge of your mat. And we're going to keep the back knee up as we walk our hands as far forward as we can, right off of our mat in this downward dog-like shape, working to get your shoulder below your front knee. We're going to hang our head here. So you're fully releasing your neck, keeping the back knee off the floor for this one, this big lizard lunge. Going to walk our hands over to the left, and as you walk to the left, you're still kind of hugging your inner thigh of your right leg against your torso so the knee doesn't fall open. Moving here into a lateral fold of the spine. You might take a big, huge breath into the right rib cage. Walk your hands back to center, and if you have any space, see if you can scooch your foot back a little bit further before you drop your knee. So you want to get as much space between your heels as you can. Once you've dropped your knee, you may be able to come down a bit more onto your forearms, or you may grab a block and put your forearms on the block, or you may just walk your hands further forward. And let the head hang regardless. And you're feeling that big stretch across the hip. Walk your hands back to center. Heel toe your ankle back in line with your hip. You're going to give that same choice we did last week of hamstring stretch. Some of us are just going to shift back and work on straightening the front knee. You might be sitting back towards the back heel. Some of us are going to pick the back knee up and go into pyramid, grabbing onto the blocks and putting our hands on them. So whatever you feel like doing, some of you might be going into that bigger split. I'm not going to teach that today, but it is an option. We're working to straighten the front knee, to lengthen the torso, and let the torso drop towards the thigh for this big, deep hamstring stretch. Take a few big breaths. If you're in pyramid and it's not a lot of sensation, make sure you're pulling your front hip back more. If you're in pyramid and you can't touch the floor, it's okay to have your hands on your hips. One more breath. And then we're going to all bend through that front knee. Now I'm going to give lots of choices here because we have lots of different levels watching this and in the classroom. So you can either step back in plank and do your vinyasa. You can step back into down dog and switch legs. You can step forward and step back to switch legs. So those are your choices. Oh, I forgot the funnest one. You can jump switch. So either way, get onto the other foot. I'm going to switch sides here. And then we're heel toeing the foot over to the left. Same thing, keeping the back knee up as we walk as far forward as we can, getting our torso lower than our thigh, perhaps lower than our thigh. Walking your hands over to the right. As you're walking, same thing we did on the other side. You're kind of hugging the inner thigh. Have your left leg against your ribs. Take a big breath into the left side of your rib cage. Walk back to center. Scoot your foot back a little bit if you can before you drop the knee. Same as we did on the other side. You might be lowering onto blocks. You might be lowering onto your forearms, or you might be just simply walking forward a bit more. See if you can get it just a little deeper, getting the shoulder below the front thigh. Let your head hang. Continue to be aware that you're breathing. Inhaling to expand, exhaling to contract. And then we start to climb out of the shape. Heel toe your foot back in line with your hip socket. Same choice, you can step back in child's pose or down dog, or you can, oh no, yes, thank you, we gotta do the hamstring. Same choice, shifting back into hamstring stretch or coming up into pyramid for hamstring stretch, thank you. Lengthening through that front leg, lengthening through your torso, and taking a few big breaths. As we're bending through the front knee, your choice is to step back into down dog or child's pose, or step back into your plank and lower down. See you all back in downward facing dog. We're gonna do one more exercise before we finish, just for core. We did a lot for the hips. So we're gonna come into full high plank. This is our only one today, friends. From high plank, we're moving into forearm plank. So you're dropping down onto your forearms, elbows directly under your shoulders. Clasp your hands together. Let's get that gorgeous alignment, crown of your head reaching, rib cage tucked in, tailbone drawn down, knees rigidly straight. We're gonna do 3 crunches, that's it. So we're gonna inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to pull your ribs to your pubic bone and pull your pubic bone to your ribs, curl your belly to your spine. Tiny little movement. Inhale to release. Exhale to pull the ribs to the hips and the hips to the ribs, squeeze the belly to the spine. One more time, inhale, release. Very tiny little movement. Exhale, crunch, ribs to hips, hips to ribs, belly to spine. And release. Drop your knees, drop your pubic bone. Untuck your toes. Unclasp your hands. You're still in the position with your elbows under your shoulders. Gonna pull your belly to the top of your mat towards Sphinx. Chin level with the floor. Collarbones wide open across your chest. Just gonna let this beautiful spinal extension settle into the back for one more breath. And then release. Gonna bring your hands underneath, stacking one hand on top, forehead to the back of your hand, and just release by rocking your hips from side to side. You can bend your knees here, and we'll get a little bit of a twist happening here as we rock the lower legs from side to side like windshield wipers. You can relax your head. And then coming back to center, bring your hands under your shoulders. We're just gently pushing ourselves back into child's pose. As you're headed to child's pose, open your knees wider so your big toes are touching. Sit yourself all the way back in a resting child's pose. Bring your hands alongside your body with your palms up and your elbows bent. Relax your head. Take some breaths into the back of your rib cage. So there's that visual again of the ribs being like an umbrella flaring open on the inhalation and hugging back down on the exhalation. Bring your hands under your shoulders, push yourself up to sit. Swing your legs around. And come to the top of your mat. You want to grab your loop if you have a heavy loop, or your strap before you head down onto the floor. Once you're down on the floor, bring your knees in. We're going to take one hand on each knee, and this time we're really going to release through the hip socket. So just rolling around in circles, ankles in circles, lower legs, knees, hips, everything just kind of releasing. Grab your loop. So we've done a hamstring stretch. We're not going to spend very much time doing this hamstring, but grab the loop to the right foot, straighten your knees, both right and left knees. Pull the leg a little closer to you. So work on really extending the knee now that we have the foot in the loop, really extending the knee. So for one more breath. So you're holding the loop or the strap with your right hand, left arm on the floor. We're just going to open for a nice inner thigh stretch, letting the leg open to the right and just hang to the right. Once you've got the leg out, you should be able to straighten your knee pretty much completely. Once we've taken the stretch off of the hamstring, you have more flexibility in the knee. Close your eyes. And then please engage your abdominal muscles before you move the leg up. We're going to do a twist here. So switching the hands, you're holding it with your left now, right is down, open in a cactus or straight out like a T, crossing the leg. So you know you need to scooch over, right? I didn't tell you, but hopefully you've scooched over to the right a bit so that as the leg comes across, it's still, your spine is still neutral. Eyes are closed, belly is relaxed. Finally, belly is relaxed. You're allowing the weight of the leg to pull your hips over to the side in a twist. Coming back to center. Switching, so pull your hips or shift your hips back to center for the hamstring on the left, both legs straight. Work on fully extending the left knee because we're not going to hold it too long. For some of us, it's helpful to put the hand on the thigh to help extend the knee. Get that good amount of sensation at the back of the knee. And then holding with the left, right arm comes out, open your leg to the left. Engage your abdominals, pull yourself up. You want to put the right foot on the floor to shift your body over to the left side a bit, and then soft knee, switch hands, draw the leg all the way across. So if your back is healthy, you have good range of motion here in your mid back, ideally we're getting the hips to face the side of the mat and the chest to face the ceiling. Relax your belly. Let your leg get heavy. Let all the muscles in your face get soft. Tighten up your abdominals. Bring the leg back. Release the strap. Bring your knees to your chest. You can do happy baby here, or if there's anything else you need to do before our final rest, you can take just a moment to make any movement that will help your body feel balanced. And then you're coming into your final resting pose, lying on your back. Got about 4 minutes or so. So make yourself as comfortable as you can. Let your whole body relax. The front of your body fully releasing soft muscles. And the back of your body heavy. Bring your awareness back to watching your amazing body breathe. Expanding on the inhale. Enjoy a deeper breath here. Just begin to move your fingers and your toes. Very gently rock your head from side to side. If it feels good, give yourself a big full body stretch. And then very gently roll onto your right side in fetal position for a couple of breaths. And with as little effort as possible, bring yourself up to sit with your eyes closed or soft. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Sit your spine up tall. And we just take this last opportunity to sit fully present in our body. Breathing in and breathing out. Namaste.